Yeah, so I don't even know if this microphone even works anymore since it's been so long since I even used it, but it seems like it's working to me. Hold on. Do some volume adjusting there. But yeah, there's these I don't know where specifically I've heard this before, but I've heard that like UFC fighters like they train them, they go to like boxing rings or like just local gyms or whatever. And they find people that are like weaker than them to fight. And they do that for the reason of like, cause they want to feel like they're trying to feel like that they can beat up anybody that they sort of encounter on the street, you know? Like, cause the feeling is like you always hear that like UFC people are like so nice. And I think it may have been Joe Rogan that said something like this. But he said that the reason for that is because that they go to gyms or whatever, and they just like they know that they can beat up anybody that they can see on the street, and so that's why they're so nice to everybody, is because like they have nothing left to prove. And just personally, like I can't think of a more of a bitch move than that. like you seriously can't find it in yourself to be nice unless you can beat up everybody that you see, unless you think you can beat up everybody that you see. And it strikes me as like a major bitch move. So like, hold on, I had more journal topics. I had that one that I was going to come down here and just sort of like say right off the bat, but I knew I had more things to say. Forgive me if I'm rusty on these journals. Where was it? Where's my file? I know it's on here somewhere. I can't believe I can't find this. Hold on. Let's do this. Oh, there it is. Okay. Yeah, but yeah, so that's, see, a lot of these like topics that I write down on these journals, it's like it's like I always look at them in retrospect, and it's like, God, this comes off as like so like defensive. Is like the next one on here is like, and actually this is a pretty good point, I think, actually, is that there's always a way to hurt somebody. Like there's these channels on YouTube that are like, they're sort of like, they call them commentary channels, but really they're just like people that all they do is complain about other people. And it's like, there's always like these exposed, this so-and-so is exposed or whatever. But, like, you could do that with anybody. Like you could expose pretty much anybody in the world. Like nobody in the world is a rock. Everybody has dirt that you can, quote, expose. So it's like, why even do it? Like, what's the point? I mean, I guess it's entertaining, but why? And okay, and maybe it's a form of entertaining that's like, it's sort of like a dark pleasure or whatever. I feel like I'm talking differently than I used to, because I'm comparing the way that I talk in my old journals to now, and it's like, just in my head it seems different. But yeah, it's just like I don't see the point of doing that. It's and the thing about those commentary channels is that they're always like, they always failed at something else first. Like there's that one channel, I forget what the hell the guy's name is, but he's like this Asian dude that had cancer, like brain cancer. But if you like look back on the history of his channel, he was trying to be a musician at first, but then that wasn't working out for him. And so then he switched over to complaining about people. And it's like, and they never show their face either. None of them ever show their faces. So, yeah, but that's sort of that thought. Like, if you, just, why do you have to bring down other people? There's such like they're so fucking judgmental. Like, how could you be so judgmental? I can't imagine being that judgmental about somebody. Like, if somebody does something, it's like, okay, whatever. Like, I don't know. Perhaps I'm just differently wired. I don't know. Yeah, the next topic on here is kind of a funny one, but if you're familiar with EDP 445, the Eagles fan who like has freakouts about the Cardinals beating the Eagles. Like for some reason, I get a very similar vibe from him and Anthony Fantano. Like there's some kind of like vibe genetics that people have that like there's some sort of thing that both Anthony Fantano and EDP 445 have. They share the same vibe genetics. Some part of themselves is connected somehow. That's like, there's just sort of a similar sort of feeling I get from both. I don't know what it is. It's like, it's something about like just, I hate using like sort of weird terms like, I don't know. But there's some similar sense I get from each of them that I don't know if it's from the fact that they both sort of came out of 4chan. Like Anthony Fantano came out of MU and EDP 445 came out of SP, which I knew about EDP 445 when he had like 5,000 subscribers. Because I'm an Eagles fan and I used to browse SP, which is not quite as funny these days. It used to be pretty funny back in the day. That's where Lel came. If you've ever seen the Lel meme where the guy has like that, it's sort of like that fucked up version of the troll face. This is an old one, but that's where it came from. And also the George Costanza at batting, like I sure hope you don't, whatever, where he's got that sort of like smug face where he's about to go to bat. That also came from SP. That was back in maybe like 2011 or so. I don't know. This is old shit. That was that thought. The next thing I wrote down here is that if you listen to the Beach Boys, and by the way, Nick, if you're listening, the reason I don't sometimes I get like I don't answer text messages sometimes is because there's just I get an unbelievable amount of anxiety with like text messaging and like just any kind of like interaction with anybody that isn't like in person or like at best over the phone. Like it causes like I have undoubtedly have some sort of like undiagnosed severe social anxiety. And so that's why I don't answer text messages. But that's that. It's because I was reminded of that because of that thing you sent about the Beach Boys song. And by the way, no, I never have heard of that song. But there's am I still recording? I better be. I am. Okay. Okay, and with the right microphone. Yeah, but in Beach Boys music generally, there's just sort of this sense in it that like there's a suggestion that you may have died. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, I was listening to, cause, there's the scenes in Beach Boy music. They're always like, Paradise Beach, California sun, whatever. But it's like, is this heaven? Like, is he singing about heaven here? Like, does you have to die to get where it is? Cause, the song Kokomo, which I know Brian Wilson didn't write, but, they're still the Beach Boys. Kokomo isn't even a real place, it's just sort of in your head. And so it's, maybe it's just a fantasy. Maybe it's just, you have to die to get there. Yeah. Okay. That was that thought. The next thing here is, when you have like a break, because, you always hear about people talking about like, oh, I did all this hard work and I I finally broke through after hard work. But I've always kind of thought like breakthroughs in that way, they don't happen when you like finally all of this meticulous work has finally led to this. I think breakthroughs happen when you realize how like easy something is. And it's like, oh, it's just that. It's been this the whole time. Like, it was right in front of our faces. Breakthroughs should be are an easy. It's like you realize how this was so easy and I didn't realize it. So, and you don't need to. I don't think it requires hard work to make breakthroughs. Like when you're learning something, I had this thought a while. Like I've been thinking this in my head for like 10 years, probably more than that actually. Because when I throw the football, sometimes like I think to myself, like if it wobbles a little bit, like if it's not a perfect spiral, I always think like that's something that I did in addition to what I was supposed. Like, you know, a perfect spiral is you doing it and not thinking about it, and it's just easy. But when you're this is you get. I hope you get the idea. I feel like that's not really. I feel like I've said this a million times already, in different ways. Yeah. Next thought here is I was just thinking like, just like the idea of like holding someone accountable. Like, does that really do anything? Like, I've been thinking a lot about the idea of like justice and like vengeance, and just like, and I know there was a ContraPoints video that came out like I think a couple of months ago, but I was thinking about this before then. Like, I don't think there's any distinction between vengeance and justice. Like, does putting someone in jail or does punishing someone even, does that do anything but like make the person more resentful? Like, I think of like you know, if I do something wrong, why put me in jail and then like I'm out of jail and then it's like, oh, I gotta walk this fucking tightrope, or I'm going to end up in jail again. I don't think jail accomplishes anything, and I think it's just they're revenge factories that do nothing but fucking create more resentment for the system and then the people that put them there, and there's nothing, and just, you know, holding people accountable, like, you know, I just like the whole idea of like contracts and like fucking like, You better do this for me because you signed on the bottom line, and it's, come on, man, like, come on, fucking like, can I just get on with my life, please? I'm just so tired. I know I can't. I'm not verbalizing that totally correctly, but I haven't ever written it out, so I think, you know, I don't talk much. Like, I think I probably say, like, aside from like when I'm screaming in the car when I'm doing DoorDash, I say maybe 100 words a day, probably less than that actually. So, you know, if my ability to articulate my thoughts is not good, you know why. Yeah, so next thought here is yeah, you know what? A lot of these fucking things are like just like talking about bullies and stuff, and like, I'll just read what it says. It says, bullies exploit a glitch in our culture, which is that you're responsible for every bad thing that happens to you in your life. And so they use that as an excuse to justify the bullying. Yeah, like when you do something sort of like wrong, like if you let's say like, you know, it's like the whole idea of like, when your kid spills milk or whatever, but then they use that as an excuse, as like, oh, fuck you, you're a piece of shit. Like, they use that as an in route to justify their, you know, shitty behavior. And then, you know, then you get people like saying, well, hey, you did the wrong thing, so it's you deserve this. Like, no, I don't. Yeah. I don't know. We're up to 13 minutes, aren't we? Feel like I didn't speak. You know, I always listen back and it's fine. Okay, I'm done. Bye.